So the new Nike SB video Quick Strike came out a few days ago, and for the most part, it seems like the overall response is pretty positive. There's some stuff I really like about it, but I'm going to get into that later. I wanted to talk about all the immediate complaints I saw when I first clicked on this thing. Now, just with every video that comes out, you're going to see the same top 3 complaints. Bad music, bad filming, probably because the angles are too close, and bad editing. Well, for Nike videos, I'll add a 4th complaint category. But instead of all that, the first thing I noticed when this dropped was the overwhelming backlash against not actually showing the names of the skaters as they appeared in the video. Just that little clap intro, and then a list like in the YouTube description of the 40 skaters in order of appearance. People were going off on this so much in the live premiere chat. Nike Skateboarding, this is their official YouTube page, responded with this.
What? I thought we'd being honest here. You got some balls, you know that? All of you.
Pretty unexpected snapback from a company that probably has like the largest PR team in skateboarding. Think about it, like I'd expect this response from Last Resort or like one of these Soul Tech kind of companies. Not that these are by any means like super edgy companies, but that's just the kind of response I'd expect from a more core shoe brand who at least wants to have like an edgy image. That's not at all the image, to me at least, that the Nike SB like conglomerate wants you to have about them. And hey, who knows if the video is actually going to stay like this, because Nike is kind of sketchy about re-editing some stuff. It might be something everybody knows about and I'm just finding out for the first time, but go back and watch that Yuto dunk part from a year ago. At like 1 minute and 45 seconds in, they just straight up blur this trick that used to be in there. Pretty sure it was a lip slide, because I remembered this spot from his April part and went back to check that out. It's still in there. So really, what are the legal consequences about this spot that made Nike scared enough to take this thing out? Pretty sure we could all file a class action lawsuit and have them legally required to show the names in Quick Strike. So with this being such a big issue in the new video, I wanted to take a look back and try to figure out what was the first major skate video to leave the names out like this. The past decade, this has just become a normal thing with like Strobeck edits and everything like that. But go back 35 years ago, and you can find a few videos that try this format out for the first time. The first ones I can find doing it are the H Street videos, like Shackle Me Not and Hocus Pocus. Neither of these actually have any titles appearing on screen, just little audio intros for each skater.
Who?
Matt.
Who?
Matt Hensley, you seen him?
Oh, he's on his way to the store.
Now, it's probably just because of budget reasons that they didn't have the option to do this or the knowledge with whatever 80s editing hardware they were using. Now, that's the first one I could find. But what really set the blueprint for all these like modern YouTube edits is Eastern Exposure Zero a few years later.
Yo, please. Over here. Come here.
Dan Wolf, the guy who made this, he gets plenty of respect for his filming. There's no question about that. But I've never heard him get enough credit for how good his actual editing was. He's the first person to really make this new narrative where the pace of the edit isn't dictated by what skater's on screen at each time, but by how all the footage actually flows together. Every single video before that, including the H Street ones I was talking about, even the shorter ones back then, for the most part, they all had individual sections for each skater, individual sections for stuff like bales and skate park footage. That was just the norm back then. What Eastern Exposure does, without blatantly telling you, is organize the footage by location instead of by skater. So there are random clips from every location just thrown in throughout it. But for the most part, it follows this pattern here. It starts in Philly, goes to the West Coast footage for a couple of minutes, then takes us back to the East Coast with some DC clips, then we're back to Philly. Then the last half of the video, it just kind of shifts back and forth between different spots, showing all the skate footage from those spots. The skate park footage gets thrown into little 30-second segments instead of just one big montage. You're probably like, no shit. This is just a no-brainer for how you make skate videos now. But that's just because we've seen this format repeated so much. It had to start somewhere. Think about what I just described. That's just the format now for the majority of pro skate content. Not just all the full lengths, but the promos and those little edits too. This is just the norm now. I'm sure at some point in putting this together, Wolf had to at least have asked himself, should I include the names for each skater? This is all complete assumption of decisions some guy made 30 years ago. But I just wonder if he thought what everybody complains about now. I bet the aesthetic of the skating will look better if I'm not flashing names constantly. Now, I'm not sitting here claiming to be some expert skate historian like Ted Barrow or something. So if I'm leaving out some major videos, let me know in the comments right now. This is really all just to the best of my knowledge, which is not that deep. After that, there's the anti-hero videos, few other scattered videos, but for the most part, that classic skate video format isn't broken by major companies until the mid-2010s, when you start seeing all these full lengths from like Bronze and Supreme and FA. I feel like after I saw Cherry and that blew up, more and more of these edits started coming out every single year, to the point where you cut to now, 10 years after that, it feels like this is the format for the majority of videos, which means if you don't like that, I could understand why you're getting more and more pissed off that you got to see this every year. So this is the question I want to put out there to everyone watching this. Do you think this actually improves the quality of the videos? Are you sick of having to research every single skater in a video? I want to hear from you if you are. I like videos better without names flashing all the time. Now, I will agree that it's a big swing for Nike to take for a full-length video like this. I thought it was a good idea how they group people together, so you had like a mini hockey section and a mini anti-hero section without having to just announce it on screen. There's no denying, though, that I've just flat out missed who plenty of skaters are because of this. Happened when I was watching Eastern Exposure 20 years ago, and it happened last week when I was watching Quick Strike. But after all these years of name-free edits, anyone I've actually had an interest in researching, it's never took me that long to actually find out who they were. It's a chore, sure, like I get that, but it's never bothered me to do. And honestly, anyone who I'm not feeling in the video, I'd rather have you just stay anonymous than have to see your name pop up in 5 different videos. But there is a solution that I think could actually please both sides. The version of Eastern Exposure that's up on Dan Wolf's channel has the option to turn on the closed captions and see the names of every skater in every clip. This should, like, no question, be an option for every skate video released without names. Best of both worlds right there. Keep the clean aesthetic of the video and have the option to see the names if you want to. Now, there's a comment on the Nike video that says you can go to the captions and turn this on, but I can't get it to work on anything I have. I don't know. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you don't like this, I think your opinion is totally valid. Come on. I found over 30 comments in researching that intro. I know one of you people want to let me know what you think, because after this new video, I think this has really hit a boiling point with a lot of people.